Hey, welcome back to Livin MN Outdoors, and thanks for tuning in to this week's fishing report. I want to give a huge thank you to all of you who have been supporting the fishing report all throughout the spring and summer. Really means a lot to us, and if you guys could continue, go ahead, hit that like button, the subscribe button, and you'll get notified every time we post an update. One other thing, if you guys use any of the resorts or guides mentioned in the fishing report, please let them know you saw them on Livin MN Outdoors. Let's dive right into today's fishing report. We're going to start up on Lake Winnibigoshish. I talked to Chad from the Pines Resort and Scott from zupsguideservice, and they told me the walleye fishing has still been really good. They said they're targeting that 5 to 10 feet of water. It sounds like 7 to 8 feet has kind of been the sweet spot there, but they're pulling spinners with night crawlers and minnows. Now they said from day to day, the walleyes prefer a night crawler over a minnow or vice versa. Now you can also pull crankbaits for them. They're still biting on those crawfish colored crankbaits, and they're catching some really nice fish. The smaller ones, the eaters, and those big throwback fish. So walleye fishing is hot up on Winnie, so if you're looking for walleyes, that's a good place to go. Now as far as bass and bluegills, they're still getting the bass up in the reeds and on the cabbage beds. The bluegills, slip bobber and a night crawler, or a little jig and a night crawler. The bass, he said they're using spinner baits or stupid tubes, and they're catching some really nice bass as well. Now as far as the northern pike, he said those are kind of mixed in and amongst the walleyes. They're picking a few up here and there while they're pulling spinners and crankbaits, as well with the perch. He said the perch are still really scattered, but they have been picking up a few along with the walleyes. Now as far as crappies go, he said out on the main lake there hasn't been a whole lot of crappie action, but he said the crappie bite has really started to pick up over in Little Cutfoot Sioux. So if you want to get on some crappies, that's a good spot to start. Now the muskie bite, he said that's been kind of slow this past week. They had some high winds and some weather move in. Haven't been seeing a lot of muskies, but last week they were finding them in 3 to 8 feet of water off of points that had some thick weed coverage. So if you're looking for muskies, that's a good spot to start. Now if you're looking to book a guided trip up there, we highly recommend Scott Zupfer from zupsguideservice. Professional fisherman, he's a lot of fun to fish with. So if you're looking for a guide, it'll probably really help you out on finding some good spots out there. Go ahead and give Scott a call. Now if you're looking for a place to stay, Pines Resort, they got cabins, campsites, full bar and restaurant. So go ahead, give Chad a call and get those reservations as soon as possible. Moving over to Leech Lake, I talked to the guys from the Leech Lake guide team. They said that the fishing has stayed pretty consistent. They're still finding those walleyes in that 8 to 16 feet of water, located on weed edges or break lines. They're pulling spinners, they're casting jigs, and when they do get on a good school of hungry walleyes, they're throwing slip bobbers at them. Now they're using minnows, night crawlers, and leeches. All three are working. It just kind of depends on your preference there. Now a few of the bays that they've been targeting are Sucker Bay, Cabacona Bay, and Agency Bay. Along with that, there has been some really good schools of perch moving into those shallow weedy bays, such as Sucker Bay and Steamboat Bay. So if you want to chase some perch, that's a good place to start. Fish those weed lines and the perch should be in there. Now as far as bluegills and crappies go, they're still catching those. Sucker Bay is always a good place to go for those big panfish. They're catching them on the deep weed lines. The crappies prefer a fat head. The bluegills prefer a night crawler. So if you want to get some of them big panfish, I'd probably recommend Sucker Bay. Now as far as bass and pike go, he said they're catching those in the reeds and in the wild rice. They're casting spinner baits and topwaters, and they're catching some really nice fish up in there. So if you want to chase bass and pike, find the reeds, find the wild rice, and you're probably going to have some success. Now as far as muskies go, like on Winnie, it's been a little bit slower. They have been finding some in Agency Bay. They're finding them up on the shallow rock structure. So if you're looking to chase some muskies, that's a good spot to start. Now, if you are looking to book a guided trip, Leech Lake Guide Team, they have 6 different guides. You can go ahead and give Austin a call. He'll hook you up with any of the 6 guides. They're all really good fishermen. They'll put you on the fish and you will have some fun with them. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay, we recommend Horseshoe Bay Lodge. They got hotel rooms and cabins, swimming pool, hot tub, full bar and restaurant. It's always a good time while staying up there at Horseshoe Bay Lodge. And even if you're not staying with them, you can pull up to their marina and go have some delicious food out on their patio. So if you're looking for a place to stay, go ahead and give Cam or Courtney a call from Horseshoe Bay Lodge. All right, now on to Mille Lacs Lake. I talked to Mark from the Norseman Guide Service. He told me that the smallmouth fishing has still been pretty steady, but the fish are really scattered. You got to cover ground, but at the same time, you got to work your baits really slow. He said they're finding them in anywhere from 5 to 20 feet of water. You got to be on big rock or really big boulders. He said the bigger the boulder, the better chance you're going to have of catching fish. He did say that the Ned rig is still working along with the drop shot. And as far as what plastic to put on your Ned rig, he said a Berkeley Little General in peanut butter and jelly color. So if you can find those are your best bet right now, and you're probably going to catch some really nice fish. He said they've been catching a lot of 5.5 pound fish out there, upper 4 pounds fish, getting some really nice bags of smallmouth. The Mille Lacs Smallmouth Alliance and the MLF, they're holding a big event coming up on September 10th. It's going to be at the Rocky Bottom Restaurant in Garrison from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. There's going to be some meet and greets with some big time bass fishermen there. There is a $30 entry fee, but that's going to cover all you can eat barbecue, pulled pork. They're going to have door prizes, raffles, silent auctions. It's going to be a blast. Check out the Mille Lacs Smallmouth Alliance website. They're going to be releasing a bunch of info here soon. So look into that. Rachel and I will be up there, so maybe we'll run into you as well. So if you're looking to book a guided trip up on Mille Lacs for smallmouth bass, go ahead and call Mark from the Norseman Guide Service. Moving over to Castles Resort, I talked to Jeff this week. He said that they've been having some great success out on their launch trips. He said kind of the sweet spot this week was 14 to 18 feet of water. They got a mixed bag of walleye, smallmouth, and perch. He said there was some really nice perch mixed in, and they got nice bass and walleyes. Now he said they were fishing with slip bobbers with either leeches or night crawlers, and they had a ton of success out there. Now if you are looking to book a launch trip with them, make sure you go ahead, call them in advance. It's $35 a person. They provide the rod and reels, all of the bait. There's a bathroom on board. It's an overall amazing time out there, and I highly recommend it. Now, if you're looking for a place to stay, Castles Resort has some really nice cabins. They're pretty booked up right now, but if you're looking for like September and October, they do have some openings. So go ahead and give them a call. Now, this goes for all of the resorts. They're all getting ramped up for ice fishing. If you're looking for those early bird specials on ice road passes, go ahead, give them a call. You might score yourself a deal on those. Get your fish houses booked, your guides booked. Whatever you're planning for this winter, now is the time to start booking those because they're filling up really fast. So, that's going to do it for this week's report. I hope it helped out. I hope you can get out fishing this weekend. Hope you have a bunch of fun. Remember to be kind at the boat ramp. But most importantly, don't forget to get on out there and get living.